Go. Great. Alrighty. All right. So we're going to do a little bit more of a dynamic movement session today. Let's get nice and warm. Oh, look at me, I'm so coordinated. Okay, so just standing in our lovely Pilates position. So we want our feet about hip width apart. If we're not sure how wide our hips are, we can use our foot as a guide. That generally gives us our hip width. And just feeling into our feet, maybe wiggling the toes. We could just move the feet in and out. Just feeling those feet, and maybe start to rock the weight forward and back. So we're just focusing on the ankles and the feet, just getting them a bit warmed up. And then we're going to bend the knees, and we're just going to do little circles around, keeping the toes down, keeping the heels down. So we're focusing on just that little bit of movement through the ankles. Good, and then go the other way. Bending through, really feeling into it, notice any tightness if you have any differences side to side perhaps. Just staying mindful how our body is feeling as we're doing this. Tendency is to go really quick, so just maybe slow down a touch. Good, and then go forward and back. So I'm letting those knees track forward, over the feet, but I'm not lifting the heels off. So we're going down and up. And what we're doing is we're trying to aim for a stretch. We're at the back of the ankle, Achilles into that lower calf. So those knees are tracking forward, making sure they're tracking over the feet. We don't want them to come together, sinking down. Let's get everything nice and warm and coming up. And then we're going to roll onto the inside of one foot and the outside of the other, and then we go the other way. So we're just going to roll from edge to edge. So you can keep it a nice small movement. So this is good, it's a little bit of a lateral movement for the ankle. A bit crunchy. Just feeling into that. Doesn't have to be a massive move if you're not comfortable with it. Just getting everything moving, and then just relax the feet there. And you're just going to come up very slightly onto the balls of the feet and your toes. Just a little bit. You're not going to go very high, just enough to transfer that weight. Staying nice and tall, so we're avoiding leaning forward. We feel like we're standing lovely and tall, shoulders relaxed. You know, that feeling of lifting from that centre point of the head up towards the ceiling. Feel the big toe, so toes are relaxing to the floor. You can feel the ball of the foot, and we're making sure we're not rolling onto the outside of the foot. And then release down, roll backwards, and then lift the toes. So you might end up pushing the hips back a little bit, a bit of counterbalance, that's fine. So we're going to go up, whoop, and then back. Doesn't have to be a massive move. Feeling all parts of the movement, including the transition between both ends, both lifts. Noticing how the feet feel. Not holding any tension anywhere else. Breathing normally. Just starting to wake the feet up. A little bit of balance. Waking up the core as well. And then back into centre. Okay, just going to stretch the top of the foot. So you're going to step one foot behind you, doesn't matter which one. And you're just going to see if you can place maybe the tops of the toes or maybe the top of the foot onto the mat. Now, if you're wearing shoes, this is going to make it pretty much impossible, depending on the shoes. But the idea is to try and stretch through the top, so the front of the ankle, top of the foot here. So we're just trying to get a stretch. Sometimes you might need to bend the other leg as well to get down. If you're very tight in your feet, there may be no bending. And that's really normal. And just noticing how that feels. And you can even roll a little bit side to side. Good. Okay, so let's try that on the other side as well. Change sides. Again. A lot of people find this quite tricky. Okay, because the one thing most people don't worry about is the movement of their toes. in the priority list of things we look at in our bodies, but looking after our feet is really important. There we go, nice big stretch, nice big stretch. Okay, then you're going to stand on one leg and just gently shake out. So shake the foot side to side, different directions. Ooh, you can even go around, just shaking it all out. A little bit of extra bonus balance here. So by shaking the leg around, we're challenging our balance, but actually we're releasing off a little bit through that ankle, the feet, and everything wiggling around. Great, okay. So just have a little reset. So let's just working up towards up the body to stand up nice and tall. Just feel like our pelvis is over the feet, over the heels. A little bit of connection here through our core. We don't have to grip or tense or hold, but just an awareness here. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, a nice long spine. So it may be helpful for you to tuck the chin in slightly and pull it back. It creates a lovely double chin, but what you'll feel is a really nice stretch down the back of the neck, because unfortunately our posture tends to be, in our modern way of living, a little bit forward with the head, which puts a lot of strain in the back of the neck. I know that's something I have to work on when I'm at the computer, is making sure I've got that nice length through there. Great! So already we're standing nice and tall, feeling like in our posture, hopefully feeling like the body's feeling nice and balanced. So let's warm the spine up. Great way of doing that is just to start off with some roll downs. The idea of a roll down is to really just allow the spine to start to move and warm and open all the muscles around it, each and every vertebrae. So I want you to use imagination and imagine you're standing against a wall. And then we're going to slowly peel our spine away from the wall, one vertebra at a time. So we're going to start at the top, nodding the head forward, and then start to roll. But you want to keep the rest of your back in line with the wall as much as you can as you slowly start to roll yourself down. And use your mind's eye to imagine each and every vertebrae just moving as we go down. Keeping the knees bent, it's going to encourage your back to, the stretch to be more into your back, the movement in your back. Especially if you've got very tight hamstrings, otherwise you're just going to be inhibited by them. So making sure to bend the knees. And then we're flopping at the bottom, however low that feels for you. You may not touch the floor, that's fine. Everyone's different. The neck and shoulders feel nice and relaxed. You can even give them a little bit of a wiggle here. And to come up, we start with our attention at the tailbone. So imagine it's still against the wall, and as we come up, you're tucking the tailbone under, and you're then laying your sacrum against the wall, and then really tucking the tailbone, going into that lower back, going up, all the way up, until we finally finish with the back of the head against the wall. Oh, look at me. Arches, can you see yourself in the camera? You can see your own technique. Interesting. Anyway, so let's do that again, maybe a little bit faster. So rolling down, slumping forward, stretching, 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 releasing, 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 all the way down to wherever you feel is comfortable. Remember, big knee bend is cool. Have a little bit of a sway at the bottom, side to side. Neck is still relaxed, shoulders still relaxed. Ragdoll to the side, back into centre, and then let us come all the way up. And this time we're going to have a big stretch up overhead. And just going to stretch as if you were, I don't know, maybe a big stretch in the morning, or maybe you've been sat down for a long time. What movements would you normally do to have a bit of a stretch? Maybe you've been sat at the desk. Have that nice stretch just to get everything moving, so you'll be led by how that feels for your body. And just notice how that is. Right, you're going to bring your palms together, and you're going to keep and you're going to allow your hips to move side to side as you rotate around to the side. That's it. Rotating, rotating. Shoulders are relaxed. Turning your head to the side and then come back into centre. Now you're going to try and keep your hips still. The movement's going to be smaller. So you're going to go as far as you can without turning the hips back into centre and the other way. It's going to be a little bit of movement. We're not bricks, but we're trying to keep the hips still so the spine has to move. That's it. So going across. A little bit of control through the core. Might help here. Going across. And across. And then back into centre. Relax the arms down and swing. Just going to do a little bend of the knee. Everything's floppy, floppy. And then we're going to go forward and back. Forward and back with the arms. Alternating the arm that comes forward. As you're doing this, you just create a bit of energy, a bit of movement. Start to wake up. Everything. Good. Okay, now you're going to place one hand on one shoulder, one hand on the other shoulder. You're going to keep your head facing forward. And you're going to turn just your torso. So my head is facing forward and my hips are facing forward. And I'm just doing a little movement. Now, tendency here is to turn the head. So keep looking straight ahead. Little movement, it just feels quite light and gentle, and come back into centre. Notice the arm that's underneath, so the bottom arm, slide it out, pop it on top. It's going to probably feel a bit weird because we tend to default to one side, but we're going to give that a go as well. Little twist, 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 and then back into centre. Okay, lift your shoulders up, up towards the ears. Up towards the ears, making sure you don't have to lean your head back. Squeeze your shoulder blades back towards each other, roll them down. God, what is with my posture? And then forwards. So up, back, down, forward. And then you can smooth that out. So it's a slower, more exaggerated move, really getting into the shoulders. And then after this, we're going to reverse it, so we're going to go up, forward, down and back. Up, forward, down and back. Really nice to get into this area of the back here. It tends to be a bit tight, doesn't it? Fantastic. Alrighty, okay. I'm going to step backwards off the mat now. So what I'm going to do is step back, step back. So I'm just doing a little bend, stepping back. Just getting a little bit warmer now. A little bit warmer. Hello, balance. Taking it back. That's it. Back we go. Good. And coming back in. And then you're going to step one leg back. Doesn't matter which one. Not too big, but you're going to see if you can place your back heel down. Now we're going to start with that back foot slightly turned out, and you're just going to bend your front knee and lean forward a little bit. Notice how that feels. Hello, Kevin. And then you're just going to let the hips come forward and start to stand up a bit taller, making sure we're not arching that lower back. So we want to feel like a very slight tuck in the pelvis, and we're stretching into the front here of this hip in that back leg. Just notice how that feels. Then we get a nice big stretch up as well, so really opening up through the front of the body, but we're not pushing the ribs out. A little bit of connection here, pushing down. Good, relax the arms. Now, this back leg, we're going to change it. You're going to change the position, so this back foot is now parallel. So rather than that leg sticking out, that leg is going to be a bit more parallel. Might challenge your balance, might feel a bit weird, might feel like you're really turning that leg in. So we're going to change what you're feeling here. And then just lean forward. Now we're going to lean forward into that front leg. You might feel a little bit of a stretch into that back calf, making sure the hips are coming forward. So if you lean like this, you're not really going to get much in that back leg. So hips forward, lean forward, and then come up, lifting the body, tuck the tailbone. Again, once again, stretching, opening through the hips a little bit, just opening through the hips. We're going to lift up one arm, reach over to the side, back into centre, lift up the other arm, come back over, and then back into centre, and then coming in. So we're going to repeat that on the other side. So the other leg's going to step back. It's going to be slightly toned out to start with. Hips are still squared to the side, bending the knees, or your hips are squared to the front of the mat. And just notice how this side feels. You can come forward, so we've got that nice long line from shoulders, hips to heel, rather than sticking the bum out. So we've got a nice big long line. And then you're just going to keep the tailbone tucked under, lift up slightly so you increase that stretch there, making sure we're not arching the back to get us upright. So tucking under, coming up, so you feel that stretch in the hips. This is what we're looking for, hips. Hippity hip, hip, hip. Alrighty, and then big stretch up there, just a nice stretch. And you'll feel that increases that stretch. And then release down. Then we're going to turn that back foot in, parallel as much as we can. So make sure one foot isn't directly in front of the other, because then you will feel very wobbly. And keep, that's it. So that little dropping down feeling of the tailbone. And then bend into that front leg, lean forward slightly, really push that back heel down, so stretching through the back of the leg. And then just bring yourself body upright a little bit more to increase the stretch here. That's what we're looking at, just getting that stretch in there. Good. And then come up and release that off. So hopefully feeling a bit warmer. I'm just going to march on the spot. And we're going to bring opposite arm up, driving that knee up, stretching up. Okay. So I'm going to use a timer for the movements we do. We are going to start with a balance. So all we're going to do is stand nice and tall, might be a little bit of lean over, and we're going to lift the leg to the side, leg to the front. Same leg is going to go to the side and to the front. So standing nice and tall. So we go side, front, side. So you may not have a big lift at the front if you're tight in your hamstrings, that's fine. Don't feel like you have to kind of kick it forward. We're keeping standing nice and tall and lift. You can go side and lift. A little bit more balance. Side and lift. Good. Side, lift. There we go. So starting balance, but you can feel probably that supporting leg. Let's do a little bit of work. Just breathing and relax. Cool, okay. We're going to go straight into the other side. So we're going to go side and forward. So you don't have to do the arms. So if balance is something you're working on, it might be better for you to do this with your hands somewhere else. You can even put your fingertips on something to help you. So it doesn't necessarily matter about how high you're lifting your leg. So you might want to do a little bit move here. It's about keeping the body nice and long, breathing, not holding the breath, as we sometimes do when we're concentrating, and trying not to wobble everywhere. But wobbling is all part of the fun, and relax. Okay, we're going straight in. So the next move is going to be, we're going to put our hands on the floor, and then we're going to step back to a plank, step back in, and come up to standing. So bend the knees, put your hands down, left leg goes back, right leg goes back. You can pop your knees down if you need to, and you're going to step your left leg in, right leg in, reach up. Okay, let's do that again. So we're going to go down, right leg back, left leg back, Knees down if you need to. Right leg in, left leg in. Big stretch up. Good. Left leg. Go back, back. Left leg in and in. And we're going to go right. And then we've got time for one more if we're quick. Right leg, in, stand. Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. So you can feel, can't you? Up and down off the floor. Gets the heart rate up. Really gets the heart rate up. Okay. We are going to do squats, but we're going to change it to a single leg. So we're going to put one heel forward, alternate, and we're going to sink back. So you're sinking backwards, you're pushing your hips back as if you were going to sit in an imaginary chair. And that heel forward is just going to help with your balance, because we want you can do it with the foot off, but I'd rather focus on getting down a little bit lower and putting all that weight through one leg. So we sit back and we're just balancing a little bit, and we're working one leg at a time, using our body weight, increasing that resistance. Great stuff, good. So that's our lower body. We're going to come down to the floor to do our upper body. So you're going to come into this position with your hands just under the shoulders. You're going to let yourself roll down to the floor, head down, lift the hands off the floor, push your hands down, and then push yourself back up. So that you could do this nice and slowly. You can keep the heel floor, hands up, hands down. You can push and roll yourself up. You can make it harder by doing it more like a push-up move. You're going to lift, nice long neck here, forehead's just off the floor, push down, and then push up. So you've got different variations of the move. It's going to be completely up to yourself which variation. You don't have to do a pushback in between, and there we go. Okay, so from here we are all the way down onto the floor. One hand on top of the other. Hips just outside, feet just outside hip width. And you're going to, so you can keep your knees down, and you can just do a little flutter kick with your leg. Okay, just relax. And this is working your hamstrings a little bit into your bottom. You're going to keep gently pressing the front of your pelvis into the floor so it lengthens your lower back. If you want to, you can do it more with a full leg, so straighter leg, move in, work in the back of your legs. There we go. Good. Last 10 seconds, remember your options. So you're going to feel your bottom working here, your hamstrings, maybe a little bit into the lower back. And relax to come up to standing. So back to the beginning, that was one kind of full round. We did each part of the move. We've got balance, a little bit of heart rate, and then we've got lower, upper body and core. So what we're going to do now is you're going to tap that foot forward, circle it back in and go to the other side. So we're tapping, circling around and back in. So we've got back to the balance. Nice for the hips. So making sure we're not opening the hips round. We're going to keep the hips facing forward. Remember, we're not bricks. So we do allow some movement through our body. Just noticing how that feels forward, in, forward, and then in. So keep the body nice and relaxed. And then in. Fantastic, well done. Just relax down there. Just do a little roll down. And then rolling up. Yes, excellent. We're going to get the heart rate up again. So we're going to start with a single knee lift. This might be enough for you. You could do a single arm with it. You could do both arms. You can make it a little bit more impactful by maybe lifting the heel, so it almost becomes a little jump, not quite because I've got one foot down, or you can, if you want to, make it a little bit more jumpy by doing a little hop through the foot. You could do a combination of the two. So you could do a few hops, a few marches. You know, if you're just getting yourself fitter, and you feel like you just need a bit of a rest, that's fine. Well done, 45 seconds. Okay, now we're going to work your lower body. So you're going to lean forward slightly, hands on your thighs, and you're going to push one leg out behind you. So you're pushing that leg out. So it's like a little kick, a resisted kick. So you're squeezing and pushing back, squeezing and pushing back. And we're really trying to wake up the bottom. You can absolutely use something here if you want to hold on to. Squeeze. So the supporting leg is a little bit bent. Squeeze, push, push. So you want to feel like you're pushing that thigh back to feel that bottom muscle working. Well done. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side. So a little lean forward, bend the leg, push back, push. So the movement is coming from taking the thigh back. Okay, so it's not just a kick here, but actively opening the hip to squeeze the bum, and we're pushing back. You're going to feel, imagine you're pushing against something, so a little bit of resistance. You're creating that tension through the muscles to make them work even harder. Well done. Keep it going, keep it going. So pushing back. Whoop. Yes, 5 more seconds. Oh, losing my balance this side. Squeeze and relax down. Now we're going to do a push-up here. We're going to do a normal push-up with your hands a little bit wide on your shoulders because we want to be working through the chest and the shoulders. Now, your option is actually you can do these against the wall. So you can place your hands a little bit wide on the shoulders, and you can bring it forward and do a push-up here. Just make sure when you're doing a push-up, these elbows aren't coming out to the side. So just want to gently draw them down so we feel like we've got some activation through here. So you could do these, you can't probably see here, but I've got a table here. You could do it like in the kitchen worktop or a table, and you could do them from this position. That's a really good way, so that makes it slightly harder than the wall. For those of you that may be feeling this in your hands or your wrists, an incline would be a good way of doing it. Or you can do it on the floor, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come into the floor. I'm going to do a push-up from my knees. So I do struggle with my thumbs a little bit. Good old arthritis, but you know, we do what we can, don't we? You can take it harder. You can do a full push-up, whatever floats your boat. Okay. We want to get as nice full of range as we can. So we're going to come down and then pushing up. So if you are new to these, I would suggest maybe a box push-up. Trying to get this full range. So when you're coming down, you're making sure your chest is coming forward and pushing directly back up towards the ceiling. If you find that's easy, by all means take the knees back, make it harder, and of course you can go to a full push-up if you so wish. You've got a few more seconds. And that's your last one. Okay. Back to the core. So you're going to come and lay on your back. You're going to bring your legs up. You can do this with your legs on the floor, but you're going to bring your legs up, relax the chest, relax the ribs, and we're going to tap that foot down. Alternate feet tapping. Neck is nice and long along the floor, and I want you to have the feeling of you're sinking your ribs down. Back of the ribs in contact with the floor. And I've gone quiet because I'm focusing on my breathing. Got choices here with your breathing. Just breathe, which is good. You could do a little exhale as you tap the foot down. You could try breathing just through your nose. Relax yourself there. Lovely, okay. We are cracking on. So let's come back up to another round. Another round. So we're going to start with that balance. So you're going to bend the knees, kick this leg behind you. You're going to see if you can hold it. And then you're going to lean forward. That's it. So I'm holding the inside of the foot. And I'm leaning forward. Now if you're tight in your legs, you may not get that lift, but that's fine. I'm just going to lean forward here. Just hold, whoop, hold that position. So you may be able to get more, or you might need to hold on with a finger. Can you hold on with a finger? Place a finger whoop, against the wall. I'm just going to hold that. Find a spot to balance, to change sides. So just get yourself set up. So when we're balancing, just find a spot ahead of you that's not moving, a fixed spot. That might just help you with your balance. So you're going to grab the foot, and then you're going to tip forward, bend the supporting leg. That's going to help you, especially if you're tight in the back of the legs. And the other arm is just reaching up for a little bit of counterbalance there. Now, if this feels like it's too much, you can't grab your foot, which is highly possible. You can just release that foot and just hold it up behind you. You could use a band. You could actually put your foot on something. So there's lots of ways to modify movements. We're always just meeting our body where it is, encouraging it to go where we want it to go. Good, nice. Okay, you're going to stand on your right foot and you're going to take all the weight into your right foot. Move over a little bit, you can take both arms up and you're going to drive that knee in. So you're driving that knee in, your back foot's just tapping the floor because all the weight is through that front leg, and you're driving that knee in. That front leg is going to start to feel it. Actually, what we're doing here is getting your heart rate up. So you can slow it down if you need to. You can make it faster. You could do one arm. You could do running arms. I mean, so many options. I'm really feeling this in my supporting leg. Woo! Good. Nice. But you can feel low impact, but we're still getting the heart rate up. So let's step on the left foot this time. Load that leg, take weight forward. Both arms if you're doing that option. Nice and long, and a big pull. Pull it in, pull it in. Good. Stay with it. Stay with it. Keep going. Nice. Nice. Good. I can't see my timer. 3 seconds. There we go. Hurry up. So good. Okay, then we're going to do squats, lower body. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, up on the toes. 1, 2, 3, up. 2, 3, up. That's it. Now you could add a jump if you wanted to. So if you fancied a bit of power, you could do a little jump. If not, if you really focus on getting that bum down, then that's where the work is. feeling the legs work. So it's not like a little bounce, it's an actual nice big move. 2, 3, up. Well done. And now we are going to come back down to the floor, and we're going to just target your upper body a little bit. So you're going to sit on the mat with your hands actually in a position what? We're not going to do tricep dips, looks like it. In a position that's comfortable for you. Hello, have you come to join us? You're going to squeeze up and open and then relax down. Whoop. So it's a nice, oh, hello. You lift up, sorry Kevin, and then down. Squeeze your bum, open through the chest. Oh, mind the dog, move over. You lift and lower. So find a position that's comfortable for your hands and then down. You could add a little tricep press as well. You could do it in a slightly different position. You could roll back and then push up. Nice for the shoulders. Stretch the front of the body. Make sure you squeeze your bum. But we are actually working into. Are you helping? Are you? How are we doing with time? Ooh, nearly there. So the last move is a core exercise. Kevin, sit. Okay, so you're going to sit on your bottom, you're going to roll back, and you're going to have a little balance, if you can. So you've got your hands supporting you behind your thigh. Shoulders are relaxed, making sure we're not hunching here. Just see if just have a little roll forward and back, and notice what happens. So you might want to pop your feet down, little roll halfway back. So when you're rolling backwards, tuck the tailbone and roll into the back of the sacrum slightly. You just want to make sure you're not arching backwards. Harder is not putting the feet down. You could put the hands out. You could do any variation. So a little roll forward and back, which feels quite fun. Woo! Okay, how are we doing? Let me just check the time, guys. Okay, move. Come on, Kev, out of the way. Come on, move out of the way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is stand up, bend the knees slightly, push your bottom backwards. So you're leaning forward with a flat back. You don't have to go very low. So hands just below the knees maybe, or just on the knees, and stand up. So you're pushing back and you're stretching all the muscles around the bottom, around the back of the legs. Going down, nice long neck, maybe tuck the chin in slightly, and then standing up. Going back, and then stand up. See if you can really feel the hamstrings and your bottom working. So you feel the stretch and the contraction, feeling the stretch. And it's that pushing the bottom back and lengthening. Woo, well done, and coming up. So our next exercise, Kevin, in your bed, mate. Come on, in your bed. In your bed. We're going to do curtsy lunges. So you're going to step behind, sink down, come up to centre. Step behind, sink down, come up to centre. So you may just want to keep your hands on your hips, or if you've got that range and your back knee feels like it's coming really low to the floor, you might be able to pop the hands down. Don't be tempted to do this and lean forward, because you're not going to get as much range through the legs. You really want to focus on getting that back knee as low as you can, depending on what's going on with your body. Step behind, sinking down, coming up, down, and up. Okay, coming down to the floor for another little bit of core movement. You're going to come onto your hands and knees. So spine is nice and long. You're going to extend, extend one arm Opposite leg, hold it there, and then place it back down and change sides. So everything's nice and long, doesn't have to be high, you don't have to lift the leg and arm high, it's that length. So this is just working your trunk. So working the back and the front of the core of the trunk. Breathing. Couple more to go. That is your last one. Great. Okay. So just sink your bottom back, stretch the hands forward. Just enjoying that stretch. Come back onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes, and then you're going to lift up your knees and hips so you have a nice big stretch down through the back of the leg. Or legs. Feels quite natural to move into a bit of a walking action here. So just one heel goes down towards the floor, then the other one goes down. So just walking through the feet feels quite nice. You can actually stretch out the feet a little bit here as well. And then we're going to walk the hands back, up to the legs. Again, you might need to bend your knees. Just hold that forward fold. Really bend the knees a lot here. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. And then rolling yourself all the way up to standing. Just going to rotate side to side. You can go long arms. Good. And you're going to reach the arms up. And we're going to do a big release by bending forward. I'm going to go 2 more of those. Last one. Coming up. Give everything a bit of a shake off. Shake it out. Shake the legs. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Get everything going. Just noticing how you're feeling now. Hopefully feeling great. Thank you for joining me.